Cowbird by Jae Ess. Chapter 3. The Party. Porter Estate is beautiful this time of year. The gardens are afire with bright autumn foliage, Japanese maples and black gum trees in shades of red, dogwood in burgundy and purple, bald cypress and cinnamon orange, and ginkgo in brilliant yellow gold. Behind all these are hedges of arborvitae, with pines in the distance a deep evergreen, and all laid atop a sky of perfect blue. Louise and William's party is spread all over the estate, with guests in the front yard where the couple stands, all smiles and ready to greet, and on every side. To the northwest, a spreading green lawn is peppered with croquet players, while behind the house the lazy river provides an idyllic backdrop to a courtyard full of minglers and dancers swaying in time with the cheerful swing music. On the southeast side of the house, several large picnic tables are spread with the fruits of Mrs. Agate labor, only the finest dainties and hors d'oeuvres. Unsurprisingly, I feel awkward here, surrounded by so many colorful, happy people. It's always been like this with me in a crowd. I never fit in anywhere. Thinking I ought to at least make an effort to be sociable, I approach a small group of women my age. Not wanting to interrupt their conversation, I stand on the fringe and listen as they talk of the small children they left at home, exchanging recipes and talking animatedly of the season's fashion. I can't relate to a single word. "Oh, but we are being insensitive," one woman exclaims, "talking so lightly when Abigail's grandfather only recently passed away." Everyone gasps at the realization, and their eyes go to a plain-looking woman in a blue dress. She doesn't strike me as being in mourning. If anything, she seems secretly delighted to have the attention shifted suddenly to her. "Tell us what happened, Abigail. I heard it was an awful tragedy." "Grandfather was struck by lightning in the storm we had recently," she says, and all the women exclaim faintly. "He was killed instantly." "Oh, that must have been such a shock," says one woman, and I snort without meaning to. Every eye snaps to me. "Something funny?" "Sorry, it's just a shock," I say, and an irrepressible giggle escapes me. Their glares harden. I feel bad. It's the worst time to laugh, and yet I can't help my sense of humor. It's so awkward, and I can't stop laughing, and that's making it even more awkward. Then I start to hear their whispers. "That's the eldest Porter sister. Is she always like this?" "Always." "She's so unsettlingly weird." I hear she collects bones and mummies and all sorts of death relics. How grotesque. Yes, I think as I turn from the group, hurrying away, wiping tears of laughter from my eyes. Yes, I am grotesque and ridiculous. I really shouldn't have come. I find I've wandered to the front yard, where my sister's intended, William St. James, Jr., spies me in the crowd and comes forward to greet me with a polite smile and a handshake. Though he is taller than me, he strikes me as small somehow, with a shy manner and an unassuming presence. "Greetings, Miss Porter. I regret we've not had more of an opportunity to get to know each other, but I'm sure that will be remedied in the weeks to come." "I hope so, Mr. St. James," I answer in what I hope is a normal voice. "Please call me William. We are to be brother and sister soon, after all." "Are we?" I blurt, evidently still affected by my humor before. William blinks at me, and I could kick myself. I make an attempt to salvage the conversation. One never knows, really. Anything could happen. "I suppose." That wasn't it. A very uncomfortable-looking William seems about to dismiss me when our conversation is interrupted suddenly by a broad-shouldered man in a very expensive suit. Noting a certain resemblance, I take him to be William St. James, Sr., Rotonia's Secretary of Commerce. A handsome man of about 50, he has a commanding, charismatic presence that stands in stark contrast to his mild-mannered son. "Hello, hello, Miss Frances," he greets me enthusiastically, swallowing up my hand in his hot fist. "It's my first time meeting you, isn't it?" "A pleasure, Mr. Secretary." "That's Will to my friends, and I'm delighted, dear girl. Louise has told me so much about you." I stare at him doubtfully. If Louise has told him about me, it can't have been anything good. "I say," his look turns scrutinizing. "I say, has anyone ever told you how well you resemble—" I wait for him to finish his thought, but he only trails off, studying my face intently. "Yes?" I prompt him, now curious. "Whom do you say I resemble?" "Well," he clears his throat, "I'm sure it's just a coincidence. At any rate, it's no business of mine. Ah, here's the girl I came to see. Louise, darling." He kisses my sister, who giggles, obviously thrilled by this important man's affection, while her fiancé stands off to the side, watching the exchange with a nervous look. "Francis," she turns her gaze on me, "what are you doing here?" "I was just saying hello." "Not in front of the house," she hisses. "You'll frighten away all my guests with that depressing face of yours." Was I making a depressing face? I didn't think I was making a face. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter. "Excuse me," I murmur, glad for the excuse to hurry away. Still, I can't help but think of Will's reaction at seeing me for the first time. I wonder who it was he thought I resembled. An important man like that, with many connections in the capital. Perhaps he knows my real mother. I must find an excuse to talk with him again someday and ask him about it. Finding myself on the southeast side of the house where the food is being served, I help myself to small portions of deviled eggs, stuffed mushrooms, grilled prawns, cranberry brie bites, cheese-stuffed cherry tomatoes, and phyllo pesto pinwheels. Mrs. Aggett's outdone herself, I think, as I savor these delicacies, already looking past my plate to the dessert table laden with blueberry tarts, pineapple upside-down cake, black cherry clafoutis, mascarpone scones, and chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. With so much good food on hand, at least now I have something to occupy myself with at this awful party. "There you are, cutie." I look up in surprise at this address to a somewhat familiar face. Jackson, I think my brother calls him, though I have no idea whether it's his surname or a given name. He is a tall man of middle complexion, with narrow eyes and a shiny bald spot on the back of his head. He wears an ill-fitted, sleazy-looking suit, and several gold rings on his fingers. My mouth full, I take a minute to chew and swallow before answering. "Cutie?" "Well, you're not all bad to look at, sister. Not when you come with a chunk of the Porter fortune." He laughs crassly, revealing a large gold tooth. "What are you, almost 30 now? Isn't it time you settled down?" "I'm 26, and I've no interest in marriage." "That's 'cause you don't know what you're missing." He leers at me meaningfully, and I feel my skin start to crawl. "I can teach you. Right now, if you like. I'm sure you know a lot of private places we could slip off to." This isn't the first time I've been propositioned by men like Jackson, though it is perhaps the most direct proposal I've received to date. Though I am the ugly duckling, the wealth I stand to inherit is enough to make any man overlook that and pretend to be in love with me. "You insult me, Mr. Jackson." "Not at all, sweetheart. Rather, I'd say I'm doing you a favor." He grins at me, snatching a tomato right off my plate and popping it into his mouth. I feel my face grow hot with indignation. I'm about to tell him off when he looks over my shoulder and suddenly hails my brother. "Hey, Benny!" Ben, dressed in a smart brown suit, is going around with his new pocket camera, taking pictures of the party guests. At Jackson's call, he turns his lens on us for a photo, only to lower it when he realizes the subject matter. "Jackson, didn't imagine they'd let a cad like you on the premises," he jokes, coming this way. "Sure, I'm an old friend of the family, don't you know? Say, you got my money yet?" Ben goes scarlet at his address. He fakes a smile and hurries the last few steps to Jackson's side. I know that look in his eyes well, and it leaves me cowering as he draws up to us. "This isn't the setting for your jokes, Jackson." His friend shrugs with another carefree grin. "Telling me to read the room?" That's never been my style, you know that, Benny. Even so, Ben says through clenched teeth, these are high-class people. Try and show some tact, would you? Sure, old pal. He claps Ben's shoulder. I'll play nice. Just don't forget to pay up, eh? We'll settle later, Ben answers, and he startles me by grabbing my arm roughly and steering me away from Jackson. I lose my grip on my plate and it falls to the lawn, but he doesn't stop, and I don't make a sound of protest, terrified of making my brother angrier than he already is. Pulling me behind a shrubbery just underneath my bedroom window, he finally releases my arm only to cut me viciously with his glare. What did he say to you? Nothing. Don't play games with me, Cowbird, he shouts, and pulls his arm back as though to strike me. I cringe beneath his shadow, but the blow doesn't fall. Ben breathes sharply through his nostrils, blue eyes sparking dangerously. Slowly, he lowers his hand. Tell me what he said to you. He said we should get married, I answer, throat dry. Proposition to me rudely. That's it? That's it. He heaves another shaky breath. You tell him to go to hell? More or less. Good. What was that about, Ben? Are you in some sort of trouble with Jackson? Nothing serious. I lost some money in a card game is all. It's not like I can't pay him back or anything, he says quickly. It's just the principle of the matter I don't like. I'll pay him back when I'm good and ready, and not a minute before, understand? Sure, I nod, though in truth I don't understand at all. Ben gives me a menacing look. Don't say a word of this to Father. I nod once more, eyes wide. Just then a pair burst from the bushes, my old friend Harrison Squire and the pastor's wife, Letty River. The latter is speaking animatedly, while I sense the former is looking for an excuse to get away from the verbose, highly opinionated theologian. Ah, Francis, Harrison hails me, and I'm a little startled to find Ben's vanished, leaving me all on my own. I just saw someone I needed to speak with. You don't mind, do you, Mrs. River, if I leave you with dear Francis? Of course not. The mannishly dressed Letty smiles at me brightly, evidently not at all bothered at being handed off so shamelessly. Thank you, my dear, Harrison murmurs to me as he slips past, and I watch him go with faint amusement. A 40-something black woman, Letty is tall like me, with short, tightly curling black hair and a wide, gap-toothed smile. She wears men's trousers and a vest with a pocket watch and a ruffled, powder-blue blouse. I've always gotten along with her. Though we come from very different circumstances, I feel a sort of kinship with this woman who never tries to fit into the expected mold of a pastor's wife, nor even that of a Retonian lady. She is simply herself, the quixotic and overly friendly theologian, historian, and philologist, Letitia River. Now here's an educated lady I could have a nice, long conversation with on feminism and the Bible, she says, falling into step beside me. Tell me, Francis, what's your opinion on women ministers? Sorry? You know, the passage in 1 Timothy chapter 2, where the Apostle Paul says women are not permitted to teach or usurp a man's authority. She quotes the passage to me in Greek. Whenever I read that, I ask myself what Deborah would have had to say about it. You know, Deborah from the book of Judges? Of course you do. Now there was a real leader. I'll bet even Paul would have stopped his orating to listen if she started preaching. I guess so? She looks me up and down, gives me a fond, patient sort of smile. I guess she senses I won't be able to offer much of an opinion on feminism and the Bible after all. Francis. Jackson appears suddenly and I recoil automatically. Just came to check on you, sweetheart. That brother of yours didn't put you off on me, did he? I have nothing to say to you. Now, don't be like that. You must at least permit me the seduction before you reject me. She needs permit you no such thing, Letty answers for me, visibly annoyed. Jackson's face darkens menacingly. This has nothing to do with you, preacher lady. Get thee behind me, Satan, she replies. then takes my arm to march us both right past him. "Thank you for that," I say to her when we're clear. "You rejected him splendidly, honey. Still, it helps to have a friend around with meatheads like that. You know Jackson?" I know his type. Human beings throughout history have always fit into one type or another. Most of them I can tell at a glance. "Oh?" I say, intrigued. Spying Will Sr. a little ways off, I point to him discreetly. "And what's his type?" Letty looks him up and down critically, shaking hands and smiling like he's running for office. "Snake in a suit," she declares. Her assessment surprises me. "You really think so? He seemed nice enough to me." Sociopaths always do. He's the type to come to church to make good business connections, then leave the sanctuary to make crooked deals in the parking lot. "What about his son, William Jr.? "That poor boy. Just a sapling in the shade of a mighty oak. He'll have a hard time with his new bride," she predicts. "She'll overshadow him too, in very short order. Choke the life out of him." That sounds like Louise, I laugh lowly, rather enjoying this trick of hers. "Of course," Letty continues, "she was never interested in William to begin with." "What do you mean?" "Women like your sister are attracted to just one thing: power." "But she loves William." "She loves what he can give her," she corrects me, and I consider this seriously. Just then, my brother passes in front of us. "What about Benjamin?" Letty's eyebrow lifts critically as she eyes the young man. Now there's a boy with more skeletons in his closet than he knows what to do with. "What do you mean?" "Why, the orgies, of course, with all his models. He slept with every single one of them, I'll wager. And not only that, why do I get the feeling that boy— Oh, forgive me, dear. I gossip more than a Christian woman should. Still, I'd be careful around him if I were you. Don't get yourself tangled up in your brother's sordid affairs." "You don't have to tell me that." "Ah, there's Harrison," I say excitedly, pointing to the little man in his pristine gray suit, who left me with Letty only a few minutes ago. "What's his type?" "Mr. Squire?" She frowns. "He's an old friend, like family." "Yes, I've met him a few times before. An odd one. Comes and goes like clockwork. He should be totally predictable," she murmurs, still frowning. "And yet, why do I feel like the clock's 5 minutes fast today? Or is that just a few seconds too slow?" "What do you mean by that?" I ask her, but she doesn't answer. Her gaze seems fixed in the distance, like a prophetess of old, seeing the future with strange and colorful clarity. "Letty?" She shakes herself from her trance to smile at me dreamily. "What was I saying? Oh, never mind. I say that pineapple upside-down cake looks scrumptious. We'd best grab ourselves a slice before it disappears."
See the pyramids along the Nile. Watch the sunrise from the tropic isle. Just remember, darling, all the while you belong to me. See the marketplace in old Algiers. Send me photographs and souvenirs. Just remember, when a dream appears, you belong